Here's the translation of the intro for Night Story. Welcome to Night Story. This is the place where mysterious tales, strange dreams, and the secrets of the night are unveiled. Join us as we embark on a journey to explore a world of wonders, where untold stories come to light under the darkness of night. Night Story, taking you into a never-ending dream. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our captivating stories. The love story of Emma and James. Emma and James grew up in a small coastal town called Seaview, where each morning the locals woke up to the sound of gentle waves and the scent of salt in the air. The beach stretched with fine white sand, dotted with sand dunes of varying heights and green coconut trees swaying in the breeze. Since they were little, the two had been inseparable friends, like twins who shared everything. Emma, a girl with golden hair like the sunshine, was always full of ideas and curiosity. She loved drawing pictures in the sand, images reflecting her dreams of a life bigger than the small town. Meanwhile, James, a boy with deep blue eyes like the ocean, was more adventurous, always finding ways to climb the tallest sand dunes or swim the farthest out into the sea. The endless summer days were filled with the two of them running along the beach, barefoot on the hot sand, building sandcastles and then breaking them down, or lying on their backs gazing at the stars at night. The small town, which seemed dull to others, became a magical world for Emma and James. As they grew older, their lives began to change. Emma discovered her talent for painting and dreamed of becoming a famous artist. She spent most of her time painting, from small sketches on paper to large murals at local shops. An art teacher at the high school recognized her talent and encouraged Emma to apply to a prestigious art school in the big city. On the other hand, James, though smart and quick-witted, didn't have any particular passion other than the sea. His father worked at the town's shipyard and had planned for James to follow in his footsteps. For him, the sea and ships weren't just a place to work, but a way of life. However, perhaps deep down, James also had a different dream, something he hadn't yet dared to acknowledge. Eventually, Emma was accepted into the art school in the city. The day she left the town, James didn't come to see her off. He stood from a distance, watching the car carrying Emma disappear into the sea breeze, feeling as if a part of him vanished along with it. Both of them knew that things would change, but neither could have predicted that the separation would last so long. The big city brought Emma new experiences, but also many challenges. She had to adapt to the busy life, the noise of the traffic, and the long, lonely nights in her small apartment. Although her passion for painting still burned brightly, she couldn't deny that something was missing, the peace that only Seaview and James could provide. James stayed in the town, working at his father's shipyard. He couldn't stop thinking about Emma, though he tried to fill the void with work and long trips out to sea. He often walked along the beach where they used to play, but whenever he stopped, there were only the sounds of the waves and the wind. Time passed and the letters between them became less frequent. At first it was weekly, then monthly, and finally just short notes on special occasions. Life had taken them in different directions, but no matter how far apart they were, Emma and James always kept a faint hope that one day they would meet again. As Emma and James entered adulthood, their families started to have their own expectations for them. Emma's family, who had a tradition of education and success, always hoped she would pursue a big career and live a life of luxury. Her parents saw her studies in the big city as the first step to escaping the ordinary life in Seaview. They didn't want their daughter to return to the small town, especially not to tie herself to James, a boy they thought had no future beyond shipbuilding. On the other hand, James's family had a different mindset. They were hard-working people, accustomed to a life by the sea. His parents believed that Emma didn't belong in their world. They feared that if James and Emma were together, she wouldn't be able to handle the harsh sun and wind there, unlike Emma, who always seemed to be chasing dreams far away. Whenever Emma returned to visit Seaview, she faced quiet disapproval from both sides. Her parents would ask about her new friends in the city, subtly suggesting that she should find someone more suitable. Meanwhile, James's parents were also cold toward Emma, making her feel out of place. Despite the family's opposition, Emma and James kept in touch and secretly met whenever they could. They often arranged to meet at their familiar beach, where time seemed to stand still, leaving only the two of them and their passionate, sincere love. The sweet sunsets by the sea became a haven for the couple. However, family pressure increased. Each time James mentioned Emma, his parents would emphasize that she wasn't suitable for their life. She won't be able to stand the harsh sun and wind. Here, James, she belongs to glamorous places, not this small town, his mother would often say. James could only stay silent because he couldn't convince his family that their love was genuine and didn't depend on circumstances. Emma wasn't doing any better, as her parents constantly talked about successful and high-status men she should aim for. They saw James as a barrier to her bright future and would remind her, "You can't live on love alone, Emma. You need a stable life that matches your talent." Under the pressure from their families, Emma and James began to have doubts. Could their love withstand all these obstacles? Emma felt the weight of her parents' expectations and began to wonder if she was being selfish in asking James to choose between his family and her. Meanwhile, James worried that he wouldn't be able to provide Emma with the life she deserved and feared that one day she would leave him for a better future. During one of her visits to the town, Emma ran into Luke, an old classmate who had become a successful businessman in the city. Her parents were very pleased with Luke and often hinted that he was the right kind of person for her. Although Emma didn't have any special feelings for Luke, his attention and glamorous lifestyle made her feel conflicted. She wondered if choosing Luke would fulfill her parents' expectations and relieve her of the current pressure. James faced a similar dilemma when Grace, a local girl, expressed her feelings for him. Grace came from a well-off family in Seaview, and his parents subtly implied that she was a better match for him. They believed she would understand and accept life by the sea, unlike Emma, who always seemed to be chasing distant dreams. The tension reached its peak when Emma and James decided to talk to their families about their serious intentions to be together. As expected, both sides vehemently opposed. Emma's parents claimed that James was just an ordinary boy who couldn't provide a safe and stable life for her. Meanwhile, James's parents refused to accept their son, sacrificing his career and family for a girl who didn't belong to the town. Tired of the pressure and the criticisms, Emma and James decided to break up to free each other. Both were heartbroken, but thought that letting go was the best way to avoid further pain. In the months that followed, Emma buried herself in her art as a way to fill the emptiness in her heart. James threw himself into long sea voyages, trying to forget the love he had lost. Time passed and Emma and James seemed to have moved on with their lives. But an unexpected crisis changed everything. A big storm hit Seaview, causing severe damage to the town. James's family shipyard was heavily damaged, and Emma's old family home suffered landslides. When Emma heard the news, she didn't hesitate to return, leaving all her work in the city to help her hometown. During those harsh days, Emma and James met again. They worked together on relief efforts and repairing the damages. Seeing each other's determination and courage, they gradually realized that their love was still as strong as ever. Family barriers seemed meaningless in the face of real-life challenges. After the crisis, both families began to change their views. Emma's parents saw James's dedication and courage during the tough times and acknowledged that he was reliable. James's parents also realized that Emma wasn't just a girl chasing distant artistic dreams. She was willing to sacrifice and help the community. One evening at Seaview Beach, where it all began, Emma and James met and decided to hold hands once more. "We used to separate because we thought we weren't strong enough to overcome this," James whispered. "But now, I know that as long as I have you by my side, I can overcome any challenge."
Goodbye. See you next time. Wishing you a day full of health and success.